Tennessee Titans rookie minicamp kicks off on Friday, and it's Cam Ward's time to shine. I'll break it down on today's edition of Locked On Titans.
You are Locked On Titans, your daily Tennessee Titans podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Titans podcast. I am your host, Tyler Rowland. Titans fans. Today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast is brought to you by the Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. You can turn any TV into your Xbox. No console needed. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to learn more. On today's show, we are going to preview Tennessee Titans rookie minicamp. I'm going to tell you why it's Cam Ward's time to shine. We're going to talk about some of the Titans draft picks and how they should progress, and we'll discuss some undrafted free agents who have a major opportunity. Before we get into all of it, do want to thank you for making Locked On Titans your first listen each and every day. Remember, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content all year round, always for free. Make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day. Speaking of every day, shout out to my everydayers out there tuning in Monday through Friday. If you aren't an everydayer, you need to be one. I'm going to be breaking down what happens at rookie minicamp over the weekend on Sunday night, Monday's show, and then the Titans schedule officially drops next week. You aren't going to want to miss any of the schedule reaction that I'm going to be putting out. But with that being said, we do got to talk about rookie minicamp taking place this weekend. The Tennessee Titans kick off. I wouldn't say they're kicking off their offseason activities. The offseason program has already begun. We're seeing veteran players like L'Jarius Sneed and J.C. Latham and, a lot of the younger guys, Sebastian Joseph Day, a whole bunch of different veteran players are already at the Tennessee Titans facility. They're doing some on-field strength and conditioning stuff, not doing any field work per se, but they're doing conditioning, pushing sleds, tug of war, lifting, meetings, all of that different stuff. But then on Friday, on the 9th, the rookies finally join the party. And the rookies have the opportunity to get their attention, to get their feet wet, to get into the building, to work on the field, do different things like that. And anytime that we're talking about the rookies, we start the conversation with Cam Ward, because this is Cam Ward's time to shine, quite honestly. Look, there are a lot of questions that we're going to have about Cam Ward going forward, what he can be, what he can do, and the answers to those questions are going to come on the football field. They're going to come in games when it's time to actually perform and the outcome matters. That is the nature of the beast. But there are a lot of boxes that Cam Ward can check at rookie minicamp for things that we want to see. Are they the end-all, be-all? Am I going to see stuff at rookie minicamp that confirms to me 100% that Cam Ward's going to be the guy that we hope he is? No, none of that's possible. But one of the most important things about Cam Ward is his leadership. That is one of the number one things that led the Tennessee Titans to drafting Cam Ward, is he is a leader. He went to Incarnate Word. He goes to Washington State. He goes to Miami. And every single step, he's a leader of the football team. Immediately garners buy-in. So that should be the case now, right? That's what we drafted. That's part of the reason. So I want to see Cam Ward interact with his teammates. I want to see Cam Ward be that leader. I want to see Cam Ward have that swagger and carry himself with that aura out on the field. I want to look out on the field and watch the highlight tapes and watch the little videos and watch all the different things. And I want to be able to instantly notice that Cam Ward is him. I want to see that. And it should be noticeable right away. Right away. Also, there are other things that we may not be able to know about, but that Cam Ward absolutely should be hitting out of the park right now. The playbook. Cam Ward has been talking about the playbook since before he even got drafted. He said, I'm just ready to be on a team and get my playbook. He came off the private jet for his press conference when the Titans brought him in after he was drafted to do the press conference and hand him the number 1 jersey. And Warren Moon was there. When the Titans did that, when he got off the private jet, what did Cam Ward have in his hand? his playbook. Now, will we hear about how well Cam Ward's doing with the playbook, where he's at, all of that? Will we hear about that? Probably not. We'll probably not have that answer until we get to watch football games. But behind the scenes, that is something 100% where these rookie minicamps matter a ton. Is Cam Ward locked in with this playbook? Is he more locked in with the playbook than all of his other teammates? He should be as the quarterback. Also, I only say this because I have PTSD from Traylon Burks, but just be in good shape. Don't be hitting the inhaler outside the locker room. Don't have to leave early because you're out of shape and you can't hack it. I'm not expecting that to be an issue, but remember, Traylon Burks, it was a sign. I said it was a sign at the time. Nobody believed me. Everybody said I was being negative and just worrying too much, but it was a bad sign, okay? Looking back now. So just don't do anything like that, Cam Ward. Just be in shape, be ready to go, be prepared, know the playbook, be a leader, and at the end of the day, have fun. Be yourself. This is about developing chemistry with your teammates. This is about getting comfortable at your new job. This is a training program. You ever worked at a new job? You're in training for a little bit. That's what this is. So I just want to see Cam Ward be prepared, again, with the playbook, being in shape, and then be yourself. Be the guy we drafted number 1 overall. Be that guy. Have fun. Build chemistry with your teammates. Be the leader. Be the guy that everyone's drawn to. Be the guy that when they throw on the little videos and the tapes, it's instantly noticeable that you're that guy. If Cam Ward does that, rookie minicamp is an absolute success. And then next week, when we get into OTAs, when we get into mandatory minicamp in June, that's when we'll kind of be able to tell how far along is he with these things that he needs to be on top of right now. So this is the first step for Cam Ward towards being the Tennessee Titans starting quarterback, number 1 quarterback from day one. And he's got to pass some of these tests to give the Titans confidence that they made the right decision. And again, being prepared and being yourself, the guy who we thought we were drafted, that's the only boxes that Cam Ward needs to check during rookie minicamp, these 2 weekend days. But very excited to break it all down with you guys on next week's first show. Over the weekend, we get Cam Ward. We're going to get Cam Ward videos of Cam Ward in Titans gear throwing footballs. I mean, couldn't get more hype than that, folks. Now, let's talk about the rest of the draft picks. Today's episode is brought to you by the Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. Did you know that your Fire TV is also an Xbox? You can turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices, no console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to go. You can dive into hundreds of premium titles, including EA Sports, College Football 25, or Call of Duty. I mean, think about just how crazy it is. You don't got to bring your console with you anymore. You could just have your Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K, and you're going to have your Xbox games, Netflix, YouTube, and beyond all in one place. It's incredible. Head to Amazon.com/FireTV-LockedOn to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. Titans fans, let's continue today's rookie minicamp preview edition of the Locked On Titans podcast. We talked about Cam Ward and why it's his time to shine and needs to check a couple of boxes out there in rookie minicamp. But now I want to move to the rest of the draft picks for the Tennessee Titans and what the expectations for them are going to be. Before we do want to thank you again for making Locked On Titans your first listen each and every day. Remember, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content all year round, always for free. Make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day. So, we have to start at wide receiver. And something that I'm going to be looking for, whether it be rookie minicamp, OTAs, training camp, preseason, doesn't matter. Who has the best connection with Cam Ward? Now, out of the gate, you look at the four big receiving options that are rookies. You have Alec Iomanner, you have Chim DK, you have Xavier Restrepo, you have Gunnar Helm. Out of those four options, of course, Restrepo, an undrafted free agent, but I feel like he deserves to be mentioned in this group with the draft picks because he was essentially the Titans' 10th draft pick. There's no way that they weren't going to go out and get Xavier Restrepo when Cam Ward asked for him. Like, that's not the case. So, obviously, you could immediately say, well, it's going to be Xavier Restrepo. He has the connection with Cam Ward. He has the chemistry, the history. That makes the most sense. But it doesn't always work out that way. It's not always that easy. So it's easy to say that that's the answer. But at the end of the day, we don't know. We don't know who is going to have that connection with Cam Ward. And I think I've talked about Alec Iomanner. I think he's a guy who could be the number 3 wide receiver for the Titans this year in snaps because he can be that big physical X receiver on the boundary. It would allow Calvin Ridley or Tyler Lockett to be able to work in the slot, be able to work in the Z. I don't think that the Titans have a great option outside of Iomanner. Van Jefferson maybe could do a little bit of that. Traylon Burks is somebody that you can't count on. So I think that Iomanner has as good of a chance as anybody to create that connection with Cam Ward, especially, let's be honest, we talk about some of Cam Ward's deficiencies in college. We talk about some of the things that need to improve for Cam Ward in college. It was his deep and outside accuracy. Throwing the ball deep, 20 yards downfield, and to the boundaries, outside of the hashes, was just the worst part of Cam Ward's game outside of the reckless decision-making. There's just no way around it. That is an area where he was not good. Deep and outside. So a guy like Iomanner who can win deep and outside, that could be someone who's very, very helpful to Cam Ward. That could allow him to create a chemistry. I think Gunnar Helm has a great opportunity to create chemistry. I think Gunnar Helm, the Titans' 4th-round tight end out of Texas, will be the Titans' number 1 tight end. We talked about it on our roster battles episodes the last 2 days. We talked about it on the offensive one. That's what I started with, looking at tight end. I think Gunnar Helm will be the Tennessee Titans' tight end 1 this year in snaps played. So developing that chemistry early on, even if it's a rookie minicamp and there's no defense and it's routes on air, which my understanding is for rookie minicamp, you can have offensive players playing pseudo defense, walkthrough level stuff. You can have other offensive guys doing that. You can't have the defense versus the offense. That's not allowed. Can't do that. But even in bird dog, walkthrough, full speed, routes on air, 7-on-7 on air, no defense, even in all of those circumstances, are you at the right depth? Are you breaking off the route on time? Do you know where I want you to be? Are you going to be able to sit down in the zone? Are you going to be able to simulate that? Are you going to understand that? Are we going to have the awareness? Like, there are so many questions and so many areas where Cam Ward can begin to build chemistry. Maybe it's 2 of them. Maybe it's 3. Maybe it's all 4. Who knows? But I want to see one of these weapons. Alec Iomanner, Chim DK, Xavier Restrepo, Gunnar Helm. I want to see one of them emerge and hear those reports of, yeah, this guy and Cam Ward had a great connection all weekend long. That's what I want to hear from one of those 4 guys. Also, Kevin Winston. Is he participating? Again, we talked about him on yesterday's show. I think Kevin Winston is the Titans' safety 3 when he's ready to rock. But he tore his ACL in week 2 or week 3, whatever. College football has a week 0, so it's very hard to know when is when. But In the second game of the year, Kevin Winston tore his ACL. He ran his pro day 40-yard dash, though, 5 months after tearing his ACL. So if he can run a 40-yard dash and run 4.51 at that, and that was in March, we're talking about the middle of May, is Kevin Winston able to go? What's his progress? When's he able to be cleared for full on-field work for training camp? When's that going to happen? Is it going to happen in rookie minicamp? Is it going to be something that maybe happens at mandatory minicamp a month from now in June? That's something that I'm looking for. Kevin Winston, when is he going to be able to get on the field full go? I don't think it's going to be rookie minicamp, but I would like to be surprised. With Femi Oladejo, it is a little bit different for me because this is a developmental guy. So I don't have high expectations for Femi. Just be out there and look the part. Just be a big, huge, strong dude who works really, really hard. Get your work in with the outside linebackers. You're a full-time outside linebacker edge rusher now. Get used to it. Get comfortable. And just start working on that development plan. Because, again, with being a former off-ball linebacker who didn't even get a full season of edge work at UCLA, it is a real project. So my expectations are low early on. Just get your feet wet, stay healthy, be in shape, be ready to go, and lock in for that development plan. My expectations otherwise are pretty low for Femi out of the gate. Jackson Slater, what position is he going to be working at? Is he going to be working at center? Is he going to be working at guard? Is he going to do both? That's a very interesting question for me because Jackson Slater is someone who I think could make this roster. I think it's an uphill battle for him with all the depth and what the Titans want to accomplish on the offensive line this year. I think the Tennessee Titans want no young players on the offensive line this year. Like, we are not relying on any unproven players. If we're going to go to backups, we're going to go to guys who have starting experience in the NFL. And at the end of the day, that's not Jackson Slater. So I'm curious to see what position Slater is working at. If he's working primarily center, I think that gives him a better opportunity to make the roster. But Jackson Slater is a guy who I'm just very curious how he's used and what the expectations are for him early on. He's a 6th-round pick, needs to add weight, super athletic offensive lineman. But again, I just don't think the Titans are going to have much patience this year for young offensive linemen. I think that's something they're going to want to avoid. And with that in mind, I think it could be maybe an uphill climb for Jackson Slater. Marcus Harris at cornerback. I'll talk about him when I talk about the undrafted guys because, quite frankly, he shouldn't have any advantage on any of those guys. So, Kal-El Mullings. Are they going to have him returning? Chim Dike. Are they going to have him returning? Will Kal-El Mullings do punt and kickoff return? Will Chim Dike do punt return and kickoff return? That's what I want to see. How are these rookies going to be used with the returns? Who's going to get opportunities to try what? I would try just about everybody at everything as things stand, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see who kind of takes that step. Who's the guy who takes that step forward as a returner out of those two, DK and Mullins, who both have the ability? That's what I want to see. But let's talk about the undrafted free agents who have a major opportunity for the Titans this year. Do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. As a small business owner, your work doesn't end when the clock hits 5. Your business is always on your mind, which means when it's time to hire, you need a partner that works just as hard as you do. And that's where LinkedIn Jobs comes in. When you clock out, LinkedIn clocks in. LinkedIn makes it easy to post your job for free, share it with your network, and get qualified candidates all in one place. Post your job. It's LinkedIn's new feature that can help you write job descriptions and then quickly get your job in front of the right people with deep candidate insights. And here's a pro tip. If you add the hashtag hiring frame to your profile picture, you can double your reach to qualified candidates. No wonder 72% of small businesses say LinkedIn helps them find high quality hires. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. fans, let's cap off today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast. Little rookie mini camp preview. We've talked about Cam Ward and it being his time to shine and why there are some boxes I want to see Cam Ward check at this rookie mini camp. Talked about the Titans draft picks and what a progression for them would look like. Now I want to look at the undrafted free agents. And again, I think there are some undrafted free agents with serious opportunity to make this roster. And we start on the interior defensive line. I talked about it at the end of yesterday's show, but I hate the Tennessee Titans interior defensive line depth. All they have is Keandre Coburn as a backup nose tackle, who I'm not that high on anyway, but he's a babysitter to T'Vondre Sweat, so he can stay around. But Abdullah Anderson is the other veteran guy. Wasn't very high on him last year. And then it's a bunch of undrafted free agent guys. Cam Horsley, Philip Bleedy, Isaiah Rakes, Devontae O'Malley. It's going to be one of those guys. Which one of those players sets themselves up to get that sixth interior defensive line roster spot? I personally think the Titans need to go outside the organization to add more guys to that group. But in this rookie minicamp, when it's just the rookies out on the field, which one of those guys looks like someone who could take that step up and take advantage of the opportunity? We're going to get a good idea based on who's in shape, especially with the interior defensive line. Who's in shape? Who's prepared? Who could go through the gauntlet of the rookie minicamp? That's going to be something that tells a big tale for the Titans. Interior defensive line, any of those guys have a great chance to find themselves a role on this roster because the group is just so bad. You move backwards to linebacker. David Gabenda. I still cannot figure out how to say his name. David Benda. Sometimes some of the names, the G is silent. I don't know, but he's a linebacker out of Texas. And I just think he is a physical player. He's willing to absolutely hit you. And with the Titans' young linebackers that we talked about on yesterday's defensive position battle episode, we talked about Otis Reese, Cedric Gray, James Williams. Which one of these young linebackers is going to ascend and take that second starting linebacker spot? Well, maybe it's David Gabenda from Texas. Maybe that's the guy who takes the step up and makes the move. I don't think that Cedric Gray, James Williams, or Otis Reese, I don't think that any of them are so good that they can't be replaced by an undrafted free agent who really steps up and make a play. We saw Jack Gibbons do this recently. It can happen. So that's really a spot where one of the undrafted free agents has a real chance. And I'm talking about starting just to make the roster in general. I think Gabenda has a great chance to make the roster because outside of the three young linebackers and then Cody Barton, what do the Titans have at linebacker that would prevent that? Curtis Jacobs? That's it. It's literally the only other linebacker on the team. So some teams keep 6 linebackers. And if the Titans want to be really good on special teams, Gabenda has a chance to be a guy who can help them there. So why not maybe just keep 6 linebackers and he's just the 6th one by default? You look into the secondary. I mentioned Marcus Harris earlier. I'm not super high on Marcus Harris. So you have Marcus Harris. You have Jamari Harris. You have Garnett Hollis. You have Jalen Kimber. You have Clarence Lewis. You have Virgil Lemons. You have Davion Ross. I mean, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 undrafted free agent cornerbacks. Who's going to step up? Who's going to make a name for themselves? Who's going to make a play? Who's going to set themselves apart? Special teams is obviously going to be absolutely critical, but we're going to see in rookie camp, one of these guys is going to be like, oh, I noticed him. Oh, that guy stood out. I'm just curious who is going to be the guy to step up. Marcus Harris has the advantage because he's a draft pick, but guys, we're talking about 6th round pick here. We see 6th round picks get cut all the time and not make rosters. It's happened with the Titans a million times over the last 5 to 6 years. It's no guarantee that your 6th and 7th round guys are going to make the roster. And honestly, it's not some big travesty if it doesn't happen. The Titans had 9 draft picks. Probably only 3 of them at max are going to be good players. 4, maybe. You get 4 good players, 4 starters in a draft, you cooked. So there's 9 players. If even half of those guys make the roster, I think you did a pretty good job. So anyway, that's something to watch. And then like I mentioned before, Chim DK, Kal-El Mullins as returners. Very, very interested to see who gets that opportunity, who takes advantage of it. But Those are the undrafted free agents I think have a great opportunity to make the roster. Those are the draft picks and how I want to see them progress. Cam Ward's time to shine. That's a full rookie minicamp preview. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I'll be back next week to break down everything that happened over the weekend at rookie minicamp. We're getting ready for the schedule release. We got OTAs at the end of May, beginning of June, mandatory minicamp, training camp right around the corner. Again, if you aren't an everydayer, you need to be one. Get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day. But that's going to do it for me today, folks. As always, I am your host, Tyler Rowland, and this was Locked On Titans.